Good day, my scholars. My name is Abiola, and for this video lesson, we are going to be treating the past question for the year 2022 for the subject Mathematics for JAMB exactly. So do not go anywhere. Stay with us, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel. Right here, we're going to kick off with question 21 to 40. So let's get started with question 21. A poultry farmer realized 200 eggs from his birds and sold 5.5 crates of eggs. Okay, so what percentages of eggs are left? All right, so let's look at the information provided. All right, so we're going to see that we have 200 eggs in total, right? 200 eggs, okay? Then we are told that he sold 5.5 crates. So we know that 5 crates, in each crate we have 30 pieces of eggs. So that will be 30 times 5, that tells us what, 150 eggs. Okay, so then we are not just 5 crates, no, 5.5. So 30 times half, that will be 15. So the total amount of eggs sold, right, that will be 165. Okay, so out of 200 eggs that he realized, he sold 165. So we have 200 minus 165 eggs sold. So that should be 35 eggs remaining. So we are asked, okay, the question requires the percentages of eggs that are left. So we can see that 35 eggs, right, is equivalent, to 17.5%, of the total eggs. How do I know this? This is very, very simple. So we're just going to say X percent, of 200, okay, equals 35. So basically we can cancel this, isn't it? So what do we have? We have of means times. So 2 times X. We have 2X equals 35. We divide both sides, by 2. So we have X equals to 35 over 2, or 17 1 over 2, or 17.5. So 17.5% of the total eggs is what we have left. So let's run a confirmation from the options provided. Yes, we have that. Which option C? Option C is the right option. 22. If sec squared theta plus tan squared theta equals 3, then the angle theta is equal to what? So let's just run a confirmation together. I know we just need to recall some trigonometric identities, functions, what have you. All right, so we just have to recall that sec squared theta equals 1 plus tan squared theta. So what do I have to do? I just have to replace sec squared theta with this, right, into this equation. So basically I have 1 plus tan squared theta, tan squared theta plus this tan squared theta, okay, tan squared theta, right, equals 3. So what can I do? I just have to collect like terms. So tan squared theta plus tan squared theta, that's going to give me 2 tan squared theta. And you see this 1, if this 1 comes outside, it becomes -1. So from the right hand side, I'm going to have 3 minus 1, and that is definitely 2. So I have my solution as being equal to 2. Okay, we see that now. So what do we do? 2 cancels, right? So I have 1 here. So that is, because 2 here, 1, 2 here, 1, of course. So I have tan squared theta, equals 1. So what can I do to remove the square? I square root both sides. Okay, so square, do we see that now? So basically I have my tan theta equals square root of 1, that is still 1. So that means theta equals the tan inverse of 1. So and the tan inverse of 1, that is actually 45 degrees. So theta is equals to 45 degrees. So you can see very, very easy. If you don't want to go through these steps, you can actually take the values provided or supplied in the options. Then you insert them in each of insert them in this expression. Then you should be able to run a check. Okay. So, but to have something more accurate and reliable and satisfactory as well, just try the steps recommended just now. So let's run a confirmation. We have that option C. So option C is the right option. 23. Find the limit of y equals x cubed plus 6x minus 7 over x minus 1 as x tends to 1. So how do we do this? Very easy. All you just need to do is to differentiate your numerator, differentiate your denominator as well. Then you put in the value of x as 1. Okay, let's run a practical aspect of that. So we have this. So when we differentiate this, so that's going to be your numerator. Okay, numerator. So that will be, that's x cubed. When we differentiate x cubed, what is it going to give us? It's basically going to be this, 3x raised to power 3 minus 1, isn't it? Then we have plus, this is raised to power 1. So I have 6x, 1 minus 1. Then this becomes 0. Okay, then I have my denominator as well. When I differentiate this becomes 1, right? 1, okay, 1 times 1 minus 1, that is what this means. 1 minus 1, this is the same thing too. So this becomes 0. So basically, my numerator, my denominator, isn't it? So I have 3 minus 1, I have 2. So I have 3x raised to power 2, okay, plus, the 1 that is here, when it multiplies 6, it's still going to be 6. That's why I did not indicate it here. So basically, I have my 6, 1 minus 1, that is 0. So x raised to power 0, that is still 1. Right, so 1 times 6 is still 6. So we can see that over my numerator, my denominator. So this is still 1 minus 1. This will turn to x raised to power 0. So that will be, we have this 1 here. That will be 1 times x raised to power 0 is 1. So 1 times 1, that is still 1. Do we see that now? So basically, I just have only the numerator floating, so nothing underneath. Okay, so since we have gotten this far, we are now told that as x tends to 1, that is, anywhere we find the letter x, what do? We replace it with what? 1. So that tells us that I have 3 into brackets 1 raised to power 2 plus 6. So I have 1 raised to power 2, that is 1 times 1, right? That's still 1 times 3, I have 3 plus 6. So 3 plus 6, I have 9. So the limit here that we're looking at is actually 9. Very easy. So let's go back to the screen to run a confirmation again. So we have option A. So option A is the right option. 24. Find the equation of a straight line parallel to the line 2x minus 5 equals 5 and having the intercept of 5. All right. So we are asked to actually produce or present an equation, right, that has the same gradient, right, and intercept of 5. Okay, let me just reintroduce that to us again. So what the question requires is that we should produce an equation, find the equation of a straight line parallel to this particular equation. Now, for two equations to be parallel, that tells you, right, that their gradient has the same value. So if the gradient here, as you can see, so condition for parallelism, okay, let me just write this. For them to be parallel, they must have what? Same gradient or same slope, if you want to use that. Okay, so that is, if the slope in this equation is 2, definitely the slope in the equation we are asked to find should be 2. Do we see that now? But with a condition now, the intercept of that equation, we have the value of plus 5. Okay, so let's rearrange this. It is usually y equals mx plus c. This your m represents your slope or your gradient, and your c is your intercept. So you can say y is still attached to your 2x to the left hand side. So we have to send this here. Okay, so basically I can have it as 2x, when this 5 comes here, minus 5 equals plus y. Okay, I can write it as it's the same thing as y equals 2x minus 5. So right here you notice that this is our slope, which represents the m. So the equation we are creating or we are asked to find must have m equals to 2 for them to be parallel, and it must have what? Intercepts. Intercept is represented by letter C as what? 5. So basically just know that what we are looking at is this. Why this? The reason is that when we try to represent this in this expression, so we are going to have 2x, when this minus 5 comes in, it becomes plus 5 equals y. Rearranging it this way, y equals mx plus c, still the same thing. So I have my y, right? I have my m, which is 2x, then plus my c, which is 5. So you can see, so this is the equation, right? This is also the equation, the same thing. We just have to switch sides because of y. So this is the equation that is parallel to this equation. Okay, so do we see that now? So very variable. So let's look for the equation that has 2x minus y equals minus 5. So condition for parallelism should be that their slope or their gradient, okay, same value. Okay, so where do we have that? 2x minus y equals minus 5. So this is it. So option C is the correct option. 25. Calculate the median of 14, 17, 10, 13, 18, and 10. Okay, so how do we do that? Very easy. So the first thing we need to do is to rearrange. You have to rearrange the given data. Okay, then we can sort out the median from there. So basically, when we rearrange, from the ascending order, from the lowest to the highest, that's what I've chosen. Okay, so I have 10, 10. I have what next? I have 13. I have 14. I have 17, and I have 18. So how many are they? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's look for the middle. 1, 2, 3 from the right. 1, 2, 3 from the left. So we have two numbers at the middle. So divided by 2. So that's basically 27 over 2 or 13.5. Okay, so that's the median value, okay, that we have to determine. So let's go and confirm, of course. So we have that with option B. So option B is the right option. 26. The equivalent of 10110.011 base 2 in base 10 is what? So we're asked to convert this, okay, in base 10 to base 10 rather. Okay, so how do we do this? Very, very easy. Okay, so just pay close attention. This is your 0, right? This is your 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4. Then this is 0. The dot, decimal points. Then we move backwards. That is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So what's the significance of this? Okay, we're going to show that right now. So basically, I'm going to have my 1. What base are we working in? We're working in base 2. So I have my 1 times 2, raised to power 4. Okay, plus the next 0 times 2 raised to power 3. Okay, the next. I have 1 times 2 raised to power 2. The next. Then I have my 1 times 2 raised to power 1. The next. 0 times 2, right, raised to power 0, okay, the next, then I have my 0 times 2 raised to power minus 1, okay, the next, I have my 1 times 2 raised to power minus 2, the next, then I have, that's the last, 1 times 2 raised to power minus 3, okay, we see that now, okay, very easy, so I have 2 raised to power 4, that is 16, so 16 times 1, I have my 16, added 2 raised to power 3, that is 8. 8 times 0, that is 0. So basically this is gone. Okay, so I have added 2. 2 raised to power 2, that is 4. 4 times 1, I have my 4. Okay, added 2. 2 raised to power 1, I have 2 times 1, I have 2. Okay, so 2 raised to power 0, that is 1. 1 times 0, I have my 1. 1 times 0, that is 0, please. Okay, then I have for the decimal point. So I have 2 raised to power minus 1. That is 2 raised to power minus 1, in indices, that actually means 1 over 2. So half times 0, that is still 0. So basically I have 0 again. Okay, added 2. Then I have 2 raised to power minus 2. This implies that 2 raised to power minus 2 means 1 over 2 raised to power 2. And that is 1 over 4. 2 raised to power 2 is 2 times 2. That is 1 over 4. Okay, so 1 over 4 times 1, that is still 1 over 4. So 1 over 4, you see the same thing as 0.25. Okay, added 2. 2 raised to power minus 3. That is 1 over 2 raised to power 3. This is what I mean. 2 raised to power minus 3 is still the same thing as 1 over 2 raised to power 3. That is 1 over 2 times 2 times 2. Right, that is 1 over 8. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, that is 8. So 1 over 8 is 0.125. Okay, can we find that now? So let's add it up. We have 16 plus this, that's 16. 20, 22 plus 0, that I still have 22. Okay, points. Remember your decimal points right here. So 0.25 plus this. Okay, so that's basically, or you can just decide to, anyhow you want to do it. So we have 0.25 plus this. This is going to give me 0.375. The 0 has added up here. So instead of using the manual method of my calculation like this, you can just punch your calculator and add up these digits. Okay, you are good to go. So our answer is 22.375. So let's see if we have that available. Yes, of course. So we have option D. Question 27. The cost C of running a school is directly proportional to the number of students N. Okay, if 20 students cost 10,000 naira, how many students can 1 million naira cover? Wow, that's quite some sum. Okay, so you can decide to use your variation expression, do all of those gymnastics. However, I'm just going to boycott those steps. Okay, so we are told that 20 students cost 10,000 naira. So I know 20 students equals 10,000 naira, right? So we are now told, we are asked, how many students, okay, can 1 million naira cover? What do we do? Just cross multiply. So basically I have 1 million, right, times 20, okay, equals x times 10,000. So what do we do? Divide both sides by 10,000, okay? Right here 2 by 10,000. Okay, so I have 3 zeros already. Okay, so that's what's y. So I think this can cancel. Okay, this cancels. So what do I have left? I have 2 times 1,000. I have 2,000 students. So the 1 million naira released as fund, okay, can actually cover 2,000 students conveniently. So let's run a confirmation on the screen. So we have our confirmation with option C. So option C is good to go. Do you like to have a JAMB simulated CBT experience? All you just need to do is to click on the link in the description below. This is going to get you to the Myschool website. Right there you get to download the Myschool mobile app for your Android devices, or you can go for the Myschool computer software for your laptops and your computers. So let's continue this video with question 28. The coordinate of the midpoint of the line joining the point minus 3 and 5, then we now have 2, 10 is given by what? So if I ask to find the coordinate of the midpoint, all you just need to do, okay, easy peasy. Okay, so we have x1, y1, we have x2, y2. Okay, so the formula for this kind of question, coordinate of the midpoint of the line, okay, is basically this: x1 plus x2 over 2, then we have y1 plus y2 over 2. That's all. Very easy. So what do I have? What's my x1? My x1 is minus 3 plus, what is my x2? That is 2 over 2, right? Then I have comma. What's my y1? My y1 is 5, okay, plus my y2, that is 10, right, over 2. Okay, so what do we have? We have minus 3 plus 2, that is minus 1 over 2, okay? Then 5 plus 10, that is 15 over 2. Okay, so that is just it. Minus 1 over 2, 15 over 2. Those are the coordinates we are looking for. So let's run a confirmation. So we have minus 1 over 2, we have 15 over 2. Please, you have to be very careful of the signs and the arrangement. So the correct option is option D. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Also, click on the subscribe button and always tap on bell notification for you to get informed immediately we upload the next video content just for you. 29. Evaluate n squared plus 1 as superscript, then we have the subscript at the front, n plus 5, if n equals 3. This C reminds us of combination, permutation and combination. Okay, so, and we are told that n has the value of 3. So anywhere we see n, we replace it with 3. So basically I have 3 raised to power 2, plus 1. Then I have my C, this is 3 plus 5. So this tells me 3 raised to power 2, that is 9. So 9 plus 1, that is 10. Okay, 3 plus 5, that is 8. So this is basically 10 factorial over 10 minus 8 factorial, 8 factorial. So basically I have 10 times 9 times 8 factorial over 10 minus 8, that is 2 factorial, 8 factorial. So this cancels this. Okay, so I know that 2 factorial is actually 2 times 1, and that is still 2. So I have 2 here 1, 2 here 5. So 5 times 9, I have 45. Very easy. So the solution is actually 45. So let's do that again. We have that with option B. So option B is the right option. 30. Given that s equals 3t squared plus 5t minus 10 is displacement of a particle in meters, so we're asked to calculate its initial velocity. So given this kind of expression, what we just need to do is to differentiate. Okay, so when we differentiate this, we're going to have 3t, that will be 2 this 2 here times 3t square, right, minus 1. You know, in differentiation, you minus 1. You know, this is of course raised to power 1, so I have 1 times 5t, 1 minus 1. When we differentiate a constant, it becomes 0. Okay, so basically I have 2 times 3, I have 6. So 2 minus 1, that is 1. So t raised to power 1, that is still t. Plus 1 times 5, that is still 5. So I have 1 minus 1, that is 0. So t raised to power 0, that is 1. So 1 times 5, that is still 5. So I have 6t plus 5. We now told that calculate its initial velocity. So initial velocity tells you that the value will be what? 0. That the value of time, t, you know, that is 0. So I am going to have 6 into bracket 0 plus 5. So 6 times 0, that is 0 plus 5. My answer is actually 5. Okay, per seconds. That's the initial velocity. So let's run a confirmation together. Okay, so we have that in option C. So option C is the right option. Number 31. In the diagram above, we have xy equals 8 centimeters. So this is xy. That's a chord, of course. And ox equals 5 centimeters. So this is ox, 5 centimeters. We're asked to find oz, the line that runs from the center of the circle to touch the chord. So very, very easy. So if this entire length is 8 centimeters, you know, this line coming from the center of the circle splits this chord into 2 equal halves. So that means here is 4 centimeters and here is as well 4 centimeters. So in total it makes what? 8 centimeters. So I'm going to have this diagram this way. Okay, so I'm going to have my 4, right? I'm going to have my 5, and I'm going to have my x. So this is my hypotenuse, right? Hypotenuse. Then I have this as my adjacent. Okay, then as this as my opposite. So basically we're going to use our Pythagoras theorem, so which is hypotenuse square, right, equals adjacent square plus opposite square. So basically my hypotenuse is 5 square, so that is 5 raised to power 2 equals my adjacent square, that is 4 square, then plus opposite square. So basically I have my 5 square, that is 25. You know, when 4 square, that is 16. When it comes outside, it becomes negative. So I have minus 16. So 25 minus 16, I have 9. So basically I have my 9 equals my opposite square. So to remove the square, what do? I square root both sides, right? So square root here, I square root here. So square cancels square. Square root of 9, that is 3. So my opposite is actually 3, which is still the same thing that represents x. So here is 3 centimeters. So where do we have 3? We have that with option D. So option D is the correct option. 32. Let asterisk be a binary operation on a natural number by a asterisk, defined by a asterisk b equals a minus b plus ab squared, then find 3 asterisk 5. So super easy, you just need to follow the identity provided. Okay, so this is your a, basically, right, and this is your b. So we just have to slot them in. So that will be 3 minus 5 plus 3 times 5 raised to power 2. So 3 minus 5, that is minus 2 plus 3 times 5, that is 15. 15 raised to power 2, that gives us 2 to 5. So 2 to minus 2 plus 2 to 5, that is plus 2 to 3. Think of this this way, right? You are owing 2 naira, that's a negative sign. Then you have 225 naira on you. If you pay off your debts, what are you going to be left with? 223. Is it a debt? A debt or your money? Of course it's your money. So that's why we have the positive sign. So the correct solution should be plus 2 to 3. So let's run a confirmation on the screen. Let's see which option carries this solution. You can see that we have 2 to 3 option A. So option A is the correct option. Number 33. If y varies inversely as x and x equals 3 when y equals 4. Okay, so find the value of x when y equals 12. So we just need to break down, you know, this presentation and just express them mathematically. So we are told that y varies inversely as x. So this is y varies inversely as x, right? So we have y equals k, right, over x. Okay, so we have our k equals xy. So we are told that and x equals 3. Okay, times, what is our y? Our y is 4. Okay, so I have my k equals 3 times 4, that is 12. So we are now asked to find the value of x when y equals 12. So we are asked to now find the value of x when y equals 12. So this is a normal mathematical expression, you know. So we're asked to make x the subject of the formula. So basically I have xy equals k, which means that x equals k over y, you know, in inverse relationship. So we are told we have already gotten our k as 12. Our y is now 12. We're asked to find the value of x when y is 12. So 12 divided by 12, I have 1. So the value of x is actually 1. So let's run a confirmation on the screen again. Okay, so we have that with option B. So option B is the right option. Question 34. If 8, P, Q, and 26 is an AP, that is an arithmetic progression. So we're asked to find the values of P and Q. You don't need to do a lot of solvings and the like. So all you just need to do, just study the relationship, you know, the common difference. So the common difference here is actually 6. 8 plus 6 will give us 14. 14 plus 6 will give us 20. 20 plus 6 will give us 26. So you can see that the value of P will be 14. The value of Q will be 20. So where do we have that? P is 14 and Q is 20. That is option D. So option D is the right option. Question 35. Find x if the mean of 2x, 4x, 2x minus 13, and 6x is 4. So you just need to recall the formula from group data regarding mean. Okay, so that will just be the addition of these values. Okay, let's add them up. Okay, we now have everything, you know, equal to 4. How many items do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what do we do first? We can cross multiply. So basically I have 4 times 4, so I have 16 on the right hand side, isn't it? So let's add up, let's collect like terms. So I have 2x plus 4x, that is 6x. 6x plus 2x, that is 8x. 8x plus 6x, that is 14x. So I have 14x. Then I have minus 13. Okay, so if this minus 13 goes outside, basically I'm going to have 4x equals 16 plus 13. Okay, so I have my 4x equals 16 plus 13, that is of course 29. So dividing both sides by 14, okay, 14. So my x should give us 2.0714, something like that. So basically I can put it as 2.0 depending on the options available. So let's see this together. Okay, so we have that. So option B is the option. Number 36. Factorize 4a squared minus 9b squared. So you can decide to use your perfect square, you know, 2 square, a square, whatever thing you want to do. But basically, I just recommend that a quick one, you know, you just run through the options. Okay, so if you know your sum and differences of 2 squares, I think you can do a very great job right here. Just multiply the options and see if you arrive at this. So basically, you should start with option A, right? So if you expand option A, the answer you're going to get is this. So option A is the correct option when it is expanded correctly. Asking those questions right now is super easy. All you just need to do is to click on the link in the description below. This is going to get you to the Myschool website. Right there you get to ask your questions, you know, using the comment button. And once you ask your question, within moments you are going to encounter great solutions from our solution providers. So you don't want to miss out on that. So ask those questions right now. So join me as we solve the next question right here. We have if n of p, that is number of p, equals 20 and number of q equals 30. So we're asked to find, and we have this, p union q equals 40. We're asked to find the value of n, okay, the number of p intersection q. This is super easy. Of course, if you want to know more about this particular question, is under the topic of sets, right? And we have topic videos, you know, in mathematics that covers sets, that covers trigonometry, that covers geometry, that covers so much more, so you don't want to miss out. So just check the link so that you can subscribe and have access to a better understanding. So let's start with this question. So recall that in your set, when you have this, you know, union q, okay, is actually equals to this, right? This, right? Then this. That's all. So we just need to slot in the value. So what is our p union q? We have it as 40. That is 40 equals number of p, that is 20. Number of q, that is 30. So let me just represent this with x. Okay, so I have 20 plus 30, I have 40 equals 50 minus x. Okay, so I can decide to send this whichever way, whatever thing works. So I'm going to have my x equals 50 minus 40. So I have my x equals 10. So the number of P intersection Q is actually 10. Okay, number that actually do both. That's 10. So let's go back to the screen to pick the correct option. Yes, so we are going to pick option A. So in case you have better steps or explanations you'd like to offer, please, we are so much interested and attentive. All you just need to do is to use that comment section below and indicate the question number and share your solution. 38. 3 times a certain number x minus 2 is less than the number minus 6. So find the possible values of x. Okay, so how do we do this? Very easy. We just need to interpret what has been given to us. So we have a certain number. So I think we are very comfortable with x. So let's just make do with x. So let that number, certain number, be x. Okay, certain number, okay, equals x. So we are now told 3 times a certain number. That will be 3 times x. Okay, 3 times x, that is 3x. Okay, so we can say 3 times a certain number minus 2. Minus 2 is less than, okay, the number, okay, minus 6. That's all. So we just need to solve. We collect like terms. So I have my 3x minus x is less than minus 6 plus 2. So I have 3x minus x. I have 2x is less than minus 6 plus 2. I have minus 4. Dividing both sides by 2, okay, basically. So I should have my solution as this. X is less than minus 2. Okay, so let's check together. What do we have? X is less than minus 2. We have that in option A. So option A is what we are looking for. Question 39. The number line represented by the inequality, okay? So let's interpret that. So you can see that we have a shaded spot right here at the tail of the arrow. So here being shaded tells us that this particular number, which is 2, is included in the expression. And you can see the arrow is pointing, further from 2. Like it tells you that numbers that are greater than 2 are included in the expression. So that means 2 is included and numbers greater than 2. So that is x is greater than or equals to 2. So where do we have that? I think we have that in option C. So option C is the correct option. Question 40. If a dress is sold for 3,800 naira, okay, at 20% discount, what is its original price? Okay, so on the Myschool website, we have prescribed another solution, another step, another approach to this particular question. So I'm just going to introduce another step. Okay, so basically you can just check for 20% of these values. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So since I've already done this, I'm just going to show us easy step. Okay, so the actual answer should be 4,750, but when we run a check. So let's see, 20%, there's a 20% discount. So 20% of 4,750, 0 cancel 0, 0 cancel 0. So this should give me 950. Okay, so 950 was actually deducted from the original price of the item, which is 4,750. So 4,750 minus 950, okay, 0, 0. When we lift 1 here, that will be 8, 3,800. So we can see that. So we can see that 4,750 is actually the original price of the item, but a discount was given, 20% discount, which is actually 950 naira, when you actually solve it. So when you deduct 950 from 4,750, it becomes the price that was sold to that particular customer. So you can see that the original price is actually 4,750, then the discount that the person got and the like. So basically it's another step for you to be able to solve this question. Like I said, we have provided another step on the Myschool website. So right there, we've come to the end of this video lesson. I believe it has been interactive and helpful as well. Please do not forget to always hit the like button for us. Also, click on the subscribe button and always tap that bell notification for you to get informed immediately we upload the next video.